Peace, 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 peace. This is MD Kane, that's known as MarcoJah. I want to tell y'all welcome to the second chamber, and this is where I do my face-to-face videos, man. For a while, I was doing a MarcoJah monologue tapes, but I want to bring more attention, more content to this channel as well, and then drop some videos on the MarcoJah channel. But I want to appreciate y'all for the views. The last video got more views than I expected, but let's just get into it, y'all. This video is called Persevering in the Right Way. Quotations, the reality of being homeless. So before anything, I'm gonna let y'all know on this channel, I want to be more vulnerable. I want to be real. I want to be honest. Even though what I represent, what I live to try to be, is a message of purity, a message of discipline. One of the most nastiest things I never want to be in my life is a hypocrite. So I'm a open up more on this channel. I'm gonna be myself. MD Kane as well as MarcoJah. So I want to welcome y'all to the second chamber, but I don't really know how I'm gonna start this video, but I always have some wiggle room to start it off, improvise. So we say that this video is called Persevering the Right Way, the reality of being homeless. Lately, or I would say for a while now, I've been having trouble persevering in the right way. Sometimes I do good, sometimes I do bad. But hard times don't last, tough people do, which is a saying that I heard. And before I start this lecture, I want to tell y'all, like, I have been drinking. You see me smoking. After when I'm done with this, I'm gonna probably go to sleep. But I just wanted to drop y'all a video before I lay at rest. But when you go through a hard time, you gotta persevere in the right way. Persevering the wrong way is drinking, is still having rage, still having anger, still having an ego, still being prideful. And that's not the way to go about it. The way to go about it is not drinking and drugging. But what people don't know, especially people who have never been homeless for long periods of time, is when you're homeless, it's hard to persevere in the right way. You gotta stay disciplined. You gotta shy away from bad habits as drinking and drugs. Then you gotta have then you have to get a job while being homeless and still maintain having clothes. And not just having clothes, but having clean clothes. Getting on work on time when you don't have a car. Or sometimes you can't get a free bus pass. You gotta pay to get on the bus. So the most simplest things people do every day, people realize that they don't take it. That how much, if you was homeless for a good 6 months, you'll realize how much you take for granted. Um, so I would say, and I do want to share this, that I had a conversation with my mother, and my mother was, I didn't raise my voice, or I, didn't disrespect my mother. My mother could tell that I was a little irritated. And she asked me, "Are you still listening?" Because I got quiet while she was talking. And that's not a. Usually, when, my mother is saying something I don't agree with, I just, you know, cut her off or speak what I gotta say. But as I mature, I'm just learning to, that's a mature trait to, when somebody's criticizing how you living your life, to just be quiet, let them say what they gotta say, and then you say what you gotta say. But I told my mom I wasn't I wasn't wasn't, I'm not busy, or I'm not, you know, um, you know, I'm not showing her a lack of attention. I'm just listening. And but I would say, what, my mother had good intentions, and my mother, you know, came with the right heart. But it's just sometimes when I speak to her, uh, I just feel like sometimes it could just be draining, because she doesn't have a lot of positive things to say, but 90% of it is negative. She wants to bring back things that I did um, months ago, years ago, things that I can't control no more, mistakes that I made before. And I'm just like, and I had to tell my mom, like, hey, Ma, it's done, it's over with. I can't get it back. The most thing I can do is try and get it back. But it's done, it's over with. It's nothing worth talking about. What's worth talking about is me, getting a job, um, getting help, from different resources, um, finding a better place to live. Because, I'm homeless, but I'm not sleeping on a curb or sleeping under buildings or sleeping on the highway. I live in a house. It's not mine, but I live in a house. But I'm learning to not necessarily tolerate disrespect, because when you get at your lowest, or when you get homeless, people get disrespectful, and you do have to check people the right way. But sometimes, or a lot of times, you can do it the wrong way. But you have to have patience with people, and be forgiving with people, and know that people are gonna judge. There's nothing wrong with judging you, but you could judge somebody unrighteously. And I just understand that my mother. I was thinking about this last night, and I was thinking about this today. My mother really doesn't understand the reality of what I go through. So I don't want to make this video too long. We're already at 10 minutes, but I'll tell you, the funny thing is I had a pretty good night. I got some money, got a little brew. You know, um, but the funny thing is that my night was pretty good, but my day was pretty horrible. But the reality, I'll tell y'all, like, my average day of waking up homeless is that I usually wake up, and I need to start waking up earlier because I'm unemployed. But um, my day starts out at me usually waking up at 9 to 10 o'clock. I start my day about maybe 12 or 1 o'clock p.m. It's summertime right now, so it's blasting hot. But I have a little shade in the house that I live in. Um, every day, or the few times that I say, because I don't hang out in that house and do stupid stuff. I just um, sleep and leave. And I'm getting bit up every day by ants. Um, it's hard for me to go to sleep sometimes. I'm getting bit up every day by mosquitoes and ants. You could probably see I don't get any acne at all, but you could see some of the bumps I get on my forehead. Can't really see it too well because you're not with me in person, but on the video you can see a little bit of it. I do not have any acne problems at all, but I get bumps, not from me not taking care of my skin, because I use African shea butter and black soap, so I know how to take care of my skin. But I get bit by ants every time I go to bed. It's hard for me to get a decent sleep at sometimes. I'm on guard always. It was maybe one time that some random people came up into the house that I live in, and I startled the guy. He pointed a gun in my face. I almost got shot one time. There has been police coming over, random weird white people coming over taking pictures, or sometimes, I had this one white man brought like a white man brought like a prostitute over there, and so I'm always on guard. I'm always on guard. I'm always looking for somewhere where I can charge my phone. I'm always looking at a restaurant, you know, uh, trying to get a free drink. I might, have like a backup McDonald's or Zaxby's cup so I can get something to drink, which, you know, um, that happens. But every day, I gotta look for a job, and when I'm out of work, and I can go to the library, but I do everything with this phone. You know, um, there's people out there that don't mean no good for you. Drugs are everywhere, and my mother can't understand like why I drink, or why I can't stop drinking, or why it's hard for me to stay off drugs. But when you have like habits, or when being homeless is not, being on the street is not the best place to try to quit drugs and alcohol. But you have options. You can go to a shelter. You can, but it's drugs there. When um, when I get on the bus, station, it's drugs there. So I have to face hardship. I have to face temptation every day. Almost damn near every gas station sell alcohol. I have no family out here. I have no friends out here. I have people I see come and go. I might use them, they use me. And that's it. So with me saying this, I just have to, sometimes, even though when I speak to my mother and she asks me certain questions, I don't go into detail no more. I don't try to get her to relate to it no more because I know she just can't understand it. It's like right now in North Carolina, it's like 100-degree weather. It rains every day, so every day I'm like suffering from the blasted hot sun, and then I gotta figure out where I gotta go because it's raining almost every day here. Like it's like Florida, like it's like Miami Gardens out here. I'm constantly getting bit by bugs. I'm constantly getting stares, and because I dress pretty well, so I like for a while I thought people didn't know I was homeless, but people have known me for a while since I've been out in this area. No matter how well I dress, no matter how, I'm still looked at like the homeless dude. So it's rough, and a lot of people have never been homeless. A lot of people just don't understand the reality. Just don't understand the reality. I would say in my situation, which I'm trying to do better. And I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I need to, use more of my resources from the VA, but or maybe I should go to a shelter. But I just shelter life is not for me. These drugs are everywhere, and it's hard. People don't know how much clean time I have had. I'm using the drinking and the drugs at times to just cope with reality. I have no friends. I have no friends. I have no person I could lay on the couch. I have nothing out here. I can't go back to my mother's house because a lot of my friends and family are somewhat afraid of me because I could be unpredictable. But if I did have a chance to go to rehab, or if I did have a chance to just be with somebody that I know that rock with me, if I was in their space for a good 3 to 6 months, I know I'd be good. But it's an ultimate challenge on the streets, and people just don't understand how, like, when you're the simple things you take for granted. Something just like going to sleep and charging your phone. Something like being able to cook on the stove. Something like being able to get in your car and going to a drive-through and trying to get something to eat. Some of these restaurants don't even let you go up to the drive-through on your feet. So it's a lot, man. I could say, I feel like I said enough, and maybe I should do a part 2 on this video. But I would just end with this message: is to have mercy, have compassion for homeless people. This is probably maybe one of the last times I'm going to speak on this subject. I will speak more about the things that I go through, but I don't want to focus it on being homeless or whatever, because I don't want to come across to people like I'm playing the victim of Olympics, like what Anton Daniels say, one of my favorite YouTubers. Um, but show love, show humility, show respect to homeless people, man, because that's somebody's uncle, that's somebody's brother, that's somebody's family, that's somebody's father, out here. But I'll tell y'all what, yes, before I go, I'll tell y'all, man, yes, it's a lot of homeless people that I won't even say a lot. It's a good 20% of homeless people that are just pieces of shit. They don't have to be homeless. They just want to be homeless. They want to get high. They want to manipulate their family, get money. They're just pieces of shit. They neglect their kids. And then I would say the majority of homeless people that I came across are just people with high mental disorders or problems, moderate mental problems, or just people who just can't get along with their family or their loved ones. So they just gotta, start from the mud. It's and then a lot of y'all people that's not homeless want to tell homeless people to get a job, but just because you get a job doesn't mean that you can afford the cost of living where the city that you are at, especially if you're in a major city or fast growing city like Dallas, Fort Worth, Phoenix, the city I'm in, the Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina area, Tennessee. So it's just a lot of things. Like, I'm not going to say, hey, you can't judge something because you didn't never been through it. But before you judge somebody, get to know somebody. And it's nothing wrong with judging somebody, which I want to say in this video as well. It's nothing wrong but judge somebody righteously. It's homeless people out here every day, man, that's really trying to do for themselves. And I would say the 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 many times I've been homeless, and as many times I wasn't homeless, that I would just say that it's it's not always black and white. Not every homeless person is just a bum, a lazy person. It's really homeless people out here, which I see every day, living in hotels, in which honestly, you know, I've seen people out here in this Raleigh Durham area been living in hotels for the past 2 to 5 years. To me, you homeless, but they sometimes look like they better than me. But it's homeless people out here working at McDonald's, out here working at Zaxby's. I'm on South Miami Boulevard, out here in the Morrisville, Durham area. So it's homeless people like working jobs, but they just can't afford the cost of living. So I know Trump is trying to pass a bill to not let homeless people sleep in public places, but I believe some of it's right and some of it's not right. But that's the message I want to spread: to have compassion, have respect for your homeless people. And the good thing about being a Muslim and reading the Quran, and as well reading the Bible at times, is that it teaches to have mercy upon the poor. It teaches to teach the poor to learn how to fish, so they can have something for themselves for a lifetime instead of giving them a fish. The Bible teaches you how to treat and deal with people that are in poverty the right way, but people don't listen and adhere to it. So, but hey, this is MarcoJah. This is MD Kane on another episode. I want to say peace to all my gods and goddesses and all righteous families on earth, and y'all have a blessed one. Another video is coming, most likely tomorrow, but maybe, maybe the the day after that. But I really appreciate y'all for the views for the last video, and I'll be back again. Peace to all my gods and goddesses and all righteous families of the earth. I love y'all. Peace.